My name is Aaron McGregor. I'm a violinist with the early music group Scots Baroque.
I'm Aisling Agnew and I'm one half of the Clyde Duo. We're a flute and harp duo.
Our quartet's called the Isola Quartet.
And we've been to the Isle of Arran, we've been to Lenzie,
Oban, Aberdeen, Aboyne,
in Biggar, West Kilbride and Hawick.
We are part of Chamber Music Scotland's Underrepresented Composers Tour. So this is a tour that Chamber Music Scotland have organised for us. Part of what we're doing is playing music by groups who have been kind of historically underrepresented, particularly in classical music. We are a four-piece group performing on period instruments, so instruments as they would have been in the 17th, 18th centuries. We play lots of old music, so music from the time, alongside brand new music. So the idea is that we kind of work a bit like a band, that we take older material, we workshop it, and then we write our own material based on older repertoire. What we decided to do in this programme was we've named it Music at the Crossroads. So the idea is where one musical style or one culture meets another. So we have lots of 18th century examples of people collecting folk material. So from Scotland, but also from India and China. This was news to us that this amazing stuff existed. And part of the magic of this is this meeting of cultures. So on top of that, we then have our kind of reaction to these repertoires.
We've chosen this programme because we believe all of this music is exceptionally high quality composing, and it just hasn't made its way into the classical canon because of prejudices like sexism or racism. But we know as musicians and have been trained to identify music that feels really good and really exciting, and we feel that every piece in this programme represents highest quality composition but hasn't had the chance to be heard. And we passionately believe that whether you like the music or don't like the music, whether your taste is like, oh I really like that or I really don't like that, you deserve as an audience to be able to hear it and choose. The problem is audiences have been completely deprived, so they haven't even had the chance to hear it and choose whether they like it or not. So it's just been completely disregarded, and we believe it should be out on stages where audiences can hear it and either say I love that, I want to hear more of it, and maybe go down a rabbit hole of discovering more of that composer's music, or say actually that's not for me. But it's all about the choice and having that exposure and having an open mind to this music. And I have to say the audiences have been so incredibly open and warm in their minds and hearts when they've come and listened to this.
Sharon and I have been playing for a number of years and looking into different pieces, and I suppose the first thing when we were trying to break out of the mould of, you know, the standard rep for flute and harp, we were looking at more and more women composers for a start, and the more we looked, the more we found composers of different ethnicities and different backgrounds. And so that just set us off on a bit of a journey.
It's been amazing actually, because I mean the whole programme that we've got is completely unknowns to most of these audiences, and I mean they were unknowns to us, so you know, and the reaction has been amazing, and the pieces we thought would be a little bit, you know, touch and go, people have got back to us and really loved them.
We've had really positive feedback from the audiences. You know, there's not been one where we've played where they've sort of reacted badly or weirdly to any of the pieces, you know. I mean, we think they're great pieces anyway, but you sometimes think that audiences are slightly fearful of stuff that they don't know. So it kind of goes to show that it's really worthwhile what they've done putting this on.
Getting to visit all of these kind of places that you don't go to on a day-to-day basis for the musicians is a real treat. But I hope that it means that there's a kind of shared culture of music, so that it's not just central to one part of Scotland, but then, you know, the musical culture has a chance to kind of grow and spread, and we get influences as well when we travel to different places. So hopefully it's like a joint thing.
I think touring is a really fantastic way to build better connections with ourselves as an ensemble, you know, get to know each other on the road and to hopefully then share that connection with the audiences.
You know, when you're in somewhere a little bit rural and the roads are really dark, if you live there, it would be quite a push to go to something in Glasgow or Edinburgh, you know, and even myself that goes to stuff all the time, I'd be kind of put off from travelling that far for things. It would have to be really something incredibly special. So I think a lot of people don't have access to the arts in the same way as what you do. So I think it really is important that we get out of our sort of situations and explore and meet people where they're at as well, you know, and situations where they feel comfortable, and try and bring all the things that we have and all the sort of knowledge of music that we have, but yeah, to a place where people are comfortable in their own environment.